loose forward, drive.
It's only clowns like you in the press who continually...
J.
All set to go here, umpire Michael Abbott getting things underway at the Elizabeth Oval. Cool conditions, pretty breezy, and Michael Ace joins us in the commentary box for what should be an excellent game of football. Central District winning the toss, going to the left of screen. Over there is Reimers battling hard for the football, and it's pretty scrambly in the early couple of moments. It's first up against third. Your tip, Michael?
Well, I can't go past the Dogs as if they've been in great form. They've won 3 out of 3, sitting on top of the ladder. Mind you, Glenelg's won the 2 out of the 3, sitting in third position, so this should be a ripper. Yeah,
it should be a good game, shouldn't it? Glenelg, of course, beating last year's grand finalists, Port Adelaide, in that round 1 game, and then the Eagles in round 3. Now, free kick's been sorted out. It looks as though it's going to Jimmy Wine, who's been such a wonderful player for them, hasn't he?
Oh, great recruit. He's fitted in very comfortably. His first game was an exceptional one, and Centrals will be looking for good things from him.
There's good kick. Hocking down there, and the mark has been paid. Not hard to pick up Hocking. He's big. He's had a very short haircut and played very well last week. There's his kick to the far side of the ground. Stroop is number 36. He's a tall, lumbering player. Over there is Stevens as well, and also Schwert, one of the fittest players, Michael, in the local comp.
Yes, and when he was with the Crows, they certainly said he was one of the fittest, one of the most dedicated out there. But interesting to see that picking up a few of the moves here in Lures, 2 centre-half forward, Ingerson into the ruck and Cotton onto a wing are just some of the moves at this stage that we've picked up.
Yes, Damien Arnold not being able to take his place in the Central District side. He's got a leg problem. There's a chance now for the Bulldogs as Girdham, who's very industrious generally, gets it across to Cook, and Cook with good distance, well inside 50, getting back Coffey, almost the mark. He's had a very good year so far. He's kicked 14 goals. Visca, not panicking, gives it to Heel. Back he goes. Chance now for Simons, and Simons, who's played pretty well this year. He's the brother of Tony. That's John Simons we're talking about, who plays on a wing. Back goes Kretschmer. Heel at half-back. Now puts it toward the wing, toward right half forward, and Jimmy West tries to stretch every fibre, but not successful.
That could be one of the matchups of the day too. Harada, who's had an exceptional season last year, and Jimmy West, who started well this year, has to do something for the Bays up forward, so it should be a very, very tight matchup.
Yes, looking forward to that. Jimmy West playing his 151st game today, played his 150th last week. Kretschmer's got the footy, umpire sorts out a free kick. That's umpire Cowell, I think, over there. No, it might have been John Abbott. Michael Abbott, I should say, and the free kick going to McGuinness. Grits the teeth. Kicks inside 50. Bartlett down there, one of the targets. Picked up nicely. Oh, that was brilliantly done by the full forward. Oh! Caldo. Have a look at this, though. Chance now for Bartlett. Hand passes infield. Here's Caldo again round the corner. He's made a mess of that. And the mark, and an easy one in the end taken by Reimers. They had a bit of a chance there, Michael.
They did. It was a great bounce, Bartlett, but unfortunately they couldn't capitalise. And that's one thing that the Central Districts club does very well. They run the ball out of their back line, get the unballers out of position, and they get it down to their forward lines very quickly.
Crunching tackle on the far side of the ground. That was Richardson on Rouvray. Not Rouvray, that's Visca. He's a Crow. He'd be keen to impress. Simons got it from Kretschmer, and now Mansell, who's he's an ordinary sight with all due respect, but geez, plays well, doesn't he?
He's a very fine player when he's on. He's probably not as consistent as the club would like, or he would like, in fact, but he's played some great footy for the Bays and is very dangerous around that forward line.
Doesn't look unlike you, Michael, either. Here he comes.
The arms are very much the same.
Here's Mansell's kick. He's about 35 metres out, and Nigel, as he's affectionately known, has missed to the right-hand side. First score on the board there to the Bays, and they're 1 behind. Central District yet to score, almost 4 minutes gone in the first quarter. Here's Ingerson, who's doing the ruck work because Arnold is out with that leg injury, as we told you earlier. Stevens had to sit and wait. Very good player. Out of bounds. What do you make of Stevens? Geez, quick, isn't he?
Well, he's quick and he's an opportunist across the wing then. Interesting to see that competitive situation there where he was under the hammer and he kept his feet, so is able to put in that second effort.
Actually, those wings, they'll be interesting to watch too, because both sides will be keen to get a lot of drive from the wings. as there's going to be another ball up on the members' wing, between the wing really and half forward for Glenelg. Caldo up to the right of screen. He's kicked 14 goals, and Coffey to the left. The two full forwards, both kicking 14 for the year, both in pretty good form. Coffey's a player that, well, he's disappointed his coach on a number of occasions. I remember talking to Alan Stewart a while back, and another bounce, and he said that Coffey just couldn't put it together, but geez, he's had a blinder of a year, hasn't he?
Well, he started well, and as you said, kicked 14. He only kicked, I think it was 2 last week, so not a good week compared to the previous couple, but he's certainly found something this year.
There's McCulley wearing the gloves, trying to get the tap away, not successfully. Jimmy Wind in there again.
It is fantastic. If you really analyse and look at a captain's role in a football game, watch Roger Girdham today. In the first 5 minutes, he is in everything. He's tough and hard and does all the hard work to get the ball out to his on-ballers.
Glenelg lead by 1 point. We played early stages so far. Stephen Schwerth overrunning it. There was Justin Casserly. And then goes in again and gets rewarded for his courage. Gets a free kick to Pyman off the half-back flank. Out very wide to Reimers, and Bartlett with him. Interesting duel, that one. Reimers bending the back, trying to pick up and gets a handle on it okay. And he was put under a little pressure there by Bartlett. So the Bay's keeping things moving. Visca just scrambles at 30 metres or so, and it's out of bounds.
Well, talking of pressure, Mark, that's one thing the Bays have done very well this year under coach Tony Simons. As we saw in the first round, they were nothing short of brilliant against Port Adelaide, and if you want to keep winning footy matches, that's all you have to do.
Anthony Ingerson, no doubt, would be very keen to impress. He too, like Visca and Rouvray, is a Crow, and would be keen to get into that lineup. They play Brisbane tomorrow, of course. Here's McCulley, he's caught. Umpire said play on. That was good work by Schwerty, and I just think he might have been hit a little high there, Schwert. Umpire doesn't agree though. Schwert's just remonstrating and just, I think, letting the umpire know that there was something a little rough in there. He's okay. He's one of the tough customers of the local comp. Lewis, who, as Michael said, is playing centre half forward, named in a forward pocket in the paper. Hocking, out wide. Kretschmer, got plenty of time, not a lot of pressure on him. Eventually Green comes in. The kick wasn't all that good, and Green just put enough pressure on him. Pyman bangs it back toward left half forward. Good fist from the back. Chance now. Oh, here's Cook. Brilliantly done. The hand pass was excellent. Down ground for Coffey. Just a bit too high for him.
Yeah, caught underneath it, and that is another good matchup in Rouvray, who is a very fine wingman, but also a very fine back pocket come fullback, and Coffey will have to work hard if he's going to kick any majors today. Well, he's one of their keys. Richardson hasn't had a big year so far, and I guess with Ingerson now in the ruck at this stage, with Lewis I would not think is totally match fit because of this is his first game back, and Richardson not in great form. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Coffey. We've already spoken about him. Here's Bartlett. Hand pass not particularly good, really. McGowan. Back he goes. Casserly. Short chip pass beyond the centre. Lewis was the target. Well done by Hamilton. And Hamilton swings play out very wide. That was Ingerson again. Geez, getting a few touches, Ingo. Here's Wine, very good player, former Fitzroy star. Can't understand why they let him go. And the throw-in to take place on the far side. Nothing in this game, Michael. Been very scrappy early. No side can really get a clear advantage, and the side that really works hard to get those 50-50 balls out of the centre and set up their running players who may be caught back in defence when the other opposing side goes forward will get the clear advantage.
Here's Girdham, tries to knock it out. Wind again. There's Lewis. Bailey. Oh, good work. Visca. And Visca repels that attack up toward Bartlett territory and also West. Two key players for Glenelg. I think there's going to be a ball up. Or yes, it is a ball up. Peter Green putting some pressure on Bartlett. Peter Green and David Green on the half-back flanks for Central District. Both sides coaches making a few changes, some of them forced. There's Pyman's awkward quick kick, and it's out of bounds on the full. Free kick to be taken by, is that War? No. Be taken by Visca. Now War. New player. Played with Geelong reserves and has impressed so far this year too. Scrambled kick forward. McCulley should be able to wrap this up. Not a lot of pressure on him. Richardson comes at him. Well, they persisted there, the Bulldogs. That's Cook's high kick. Coffey, one out. Rouvray at the back. Coffey competing pretty well. He was in front. That was the main thing. Hocking close to the line. Another throw in. Let's have another look at this one, Michael.
McCulley wearing the gloves. That's another issue in itself. Goes to the ground and, yes, well, nothing really in it.
It wasn't too high?
No, not too high. Just ran over the top of him. It happens 50 times in a game.
Okay, McCulley on that occasion, in some people's view, I think might have been a shade unlucky not to have gotten a free kick. Here's Hallahan. So they're moving this away from that defensive zone. Strooper's kick is a good one. Big leap by Ingerson. Oh, that was good by Herrera. A series of hand passes. Peter Green, former Carlton player, knocked it to the advantage of Stephen Schwert. And Schwerty now runs through the centre. He can see he's got a big chance to transport the ball towards centre half forward. Over to David Green. Little chip passes on just past Cook. It didn't come off. Visca repels that. Kicks out wide. Now there's a chance for the Bays here because this is McGuinness. Back he goes. Or Simons is going to be under pressure. Got his kick away in time. Down ground to big Jimmy West. Long way away from where he's supposed to be playing, but he's now going to transfer play into the forward pocket. A little indirect, you would have thought. And the mark has been taken by Wakeland.
Well, that's just that play. Schwert had absolutely no one to kick it to. 4 Glenelg players were all in the back line. He couldn't get it on long, so he had to try to chip it short and had no chance of really setting up anything.
Yes, they made a mess of it, didn't they? Here's Cotton now, running into space. Look at McCulley lumbering after him. He took an age to get there, but gee, when he got there, he made a real mess of Cotton. And as a result of that, there'll be a free kick.
Well, that is a clumsy tackle, really. He had the time. He knew that he was going to be over the top of it, so all he had to do was prop.
So here's Cotton from those old cotton fields. Good Cook, good kick, a big punch, and there's a player down in front of the pack. I think it's Coffey, and surely he's going to get a free kick about 20 metres out on what is going to be probably a 25 or 30 degree angle. He shouldn't have much trouble with this, the 28-year-old.
Well, he's kicked a lot of goals this season, as we've stated, 14 in fact, and he can kick a ball a long way, and he really should put this one through. As we have a look here,
pretty obvious.
Yeah, just straight into the back of him was Rouvray. He propped and did it very well.
2 goals, 3 last week, Grant Coffey, as Michael mentioned earlier. Well, he's got his first today, and the crowd erupts in the grandstand here at the Elizabeth Oval. Good start for Grant Coffey, good start for Central District.
No side really being able to get the initiative at the moment. As with the 3 Bay players going at the ball, Coffey, it's a slight nudge in the back, but as we've said, he's been kicking well and was never really going to miss that one.
Yes, he's a confidence player, isn't he? Yeah, there's no doubt about that, and that's certainly going to increase his confidence. 1 goal, Central. Glenelg 1 behind, low-scoring affair. McCulley and Ingerson. Chance now for Strooper, who kicks it very wide to the far side of the ground. Got good distance with it, but no one really there for Glenelg as Casserly clears it away to P. Green. This is Peter Green. Oh, gee, a player down off the ball. I think that might have been Stevens. It was. I think West might have been the man who used the rough-up tactics, and as a result, Peter Green's going to take the free kick from pretty well smack bang in the middle of the Elizabeth Oval. Good kick. That's an excellent kick to Cotton. Well placed, wasn't it?
It was, and that's where they have to move it on quickly.
And that's exactly what Cotton does. Down ground, looking for Jimmy Wind. He just messed that up a little. Not a clean grab by Wind.
It wasn't, but I've said in the past few weeks that the umpires do not really pay the decision of holding the ball often enough, and that was a clear example of the Glenelg player. I don't know who it was, dragged the ball underneath him, didn't really make any attempt to get rid of it, so it's got to go holding the ball. 14
minutes gone in the first quarter. Strooper standing over the pack. Bailey tried to get a hand pass out, Girdham in there, and trying to do something constructive with it. Simons. And there'll be another ball up. Conditions, they're cool and a little windy, but the sun is shining. Let's hope that the rain can stay away. Officials tell us that this oval certainly holds its own when it does seem to rain, or does rain. And Cully with a big fist there, and he was obviously being held onto. What do you make of him?
He's been a very improved player over the last couple of years and held the Glenelg ruck in tow in the last couple. And he really do. Any side who's play well needs their ruckman to dominate.
Herrera to Ingerson. They're using 1, 2 and 3 here. Here's McGowan, who hasn't had a lot of the football, but it is only early days. Just over the head of Coffey. Well done by Rouvray. Incredibly Good work there. Eventually Heel comes away with it. Bartlett, oh, they're transferring the ball okay from half back now to the wing on the far side. Here's Kretschmer, and the Bays continue to tumble the ball forward over the head of Caldo. Free kick against him, and the free kick will be taken by Wakeland. He's going to have his hands full today, Michael, because Caldo's pretty good.
He can certainly play, and I'd like to see that decision again, because I think that Wakeland actually tripped over Caldo, so there was nothing in it. In fact, he just ran into Caldo's legs.
Cook gets a 25 metre, and this is going to bring him down to about 80 metres out. 2 kicks from goal. He's generally a very good kicker of the footy, a left footer, as you can see. Caught behind Coffey. No mark taken. The umpire said it was touched anyway. Here's War from the back pocket, swings it round his left shoulder. Good work. Rouvray outstretched. Look at that kick. Very low. In toward the centre, knocked to the side of the pack. An opportunity now for Casserly. Oh, good work. Just got himself into a bit of trouble, but got it back to Ingerson. Ingerson's kick is a good one too to Cook. Back it goes to David Green. Inside the centre square, out wide for Coffey. Getting a few touches, Coffey, isn't he? He's already got 1 goal. Heel just stands still there. Short kick, Bailey. And I know that the club is looking for big things from Dean Bailey. Been there, what, a couple of years?
Been there a couple of years, was a fine recruit. What you're finding at the moment is Glenelg really haven't got anything up forward, and their forwards are playing too far down the ground. Now, whether that's because of the size of it or from an instruction from the coach, I'm not sure.
Free down ground as John Simons was knocked over after he got rid of the footy. And Caldow. Yes, so well picked up, Michael. He's a long way out, isn't he, the full forward?
He can kick a ball a long way, but I'd suggest he's kicking into probably what's maybe a 1 or 2 goal breeze.
So Caldo decides to go short, and that option has come off. That's good football. And big Strooper. Now, what's your thoughts on David Strooper? He's an imposing-looking character, isn't he?
He's a fair size. We saw him in the first round where he was a bit underdone, hadn't played a lot of footy, but he's got a certain amount of talent. And being the forward as he is, he led beautifully there.
Good kick, wasn't it?
And Hooray to not quite picking him up.
So David Strooper, who was delisted by St Kilda last year, he's 27 years of age, and he comes to the club with big raps. I know he wants to play AFL footy again, so he'll be very keen to do well in 1995 for Glenelg. There's the kick by the big man. It is a big kick. It's just short. Or is it? Or is it? No, it's not. It's a goal. Well, it was right on the line. It was touch and go. And a valuable goal late in this first quarter.
Well, I'm sure everyone else thought that it just fell short. And Stephen Schwert, he was off. And as we have a look at it now, coming down, there's a pack of players. Maybe just over the line. He's in the spot for it. So kicks the Bays first.
Well, Peter Symes, the man there, the goal umpire. So he's obviously got 20/20 vision. 20/20 or 40? No, 20/20, isn't it?
20/20.
1 goal, Central. Glenelg 1 goal 1. They lead by 1 solitary behind. Busy work there by Bailey. Towards centre half forward. Big pack into the air. Good mark. Has it been paid? It has to Bartlett. Gee, was about 4 or 5 of them there. The kick is terrible. It hit Cotton on the shins. In goes Mansell. And also standing over the footy is Simons. Ball up at right half forward for the Bays.
Well, he tried to move it on quickly, which he has to do. Had players running forward in McGuinness, but just couldn't quite get it over the top.
17, almost 18 minutes elapsed in this first quarter. Bartlett doing the ruck work for Glenelg. Jimmy Wine tries to hold him up. It's the short and tall of it, isn't it?
Well, it's very scrappy at this stage, and I think these two sides, they do play hard, aggressive footy, and we'll find that this might happen throughout the whole day.
Michael Abbott. Good bounce too by the experienced umpire. Here's Kretschmer, just needed a handle on it. Didn't get one. Hallahan. Oh, gee whiz. He was pretty pleased to accept that hand pass from an opposition player that hits the behind post, and there'll be a throw-in. Not a lot of fluency in the game at this point, but perhaps conditions are a little more difficult down there than we think. A lot of pressure being applied by both sides. There's Ingerson's double-fisted or double-handed knock close to the line, kept in. Well, they played to the whistle. Casserly gave it to Jimmy Wine, 2 of the shortest players on the ground. He's one of the tallest. Strooper looking to hand it off and does so to Dean Bailey. 60 metres out, over the head of Green, in front Caldo. Green read it superbly, then Got a busy kick away, only as far as heel though. Oh, McCulley does good work off the ball. Good shepherding there by the ruckman. Up they go. No mark able to be taken by anyone, but a chance now. Cotton's got to get rid of it quickly. Gives it across to Stevens, working well on half-back. Kicks it toward the wing. Good one too, over the head of Lewis. Gee, had 4 to beat there, Lewis. Maybe it wasn't such a good kick in the end. He was totally outnumbered. Heel, short pass is okay to Rubenik, the back pocket player. The kick looked all right, Michael, but gee, Lewis had no hope, did he?
Well, that's what's happening at the moment. Both clubs are getting caught going forward, and when they go forward, as we have a look at the replay there he is.
4 against 1 it was.
Had no hope.
As it turned out, McCulley almost knocked out one of his mates.
So what's happening at the moment is whenever the Bays go forward, you've got Centrals running the ball out with all their players and vice versa down the other end.
So Lyndon Bowe comes on, number 19. Lyndon Bowe on, and Dwayne Kretschmer goes off. Tony Simons making a change as three-quarter time approaches. First year for Tony. What a big start it was for him about 4 weeks ago, Michael.
Well, he would have loved that, playing against the old foe in Port Adelaide.
Unbelievable, wasn't it?
And they certainly did show that they'll be a good side this year.
Got knocked back down to earth the next week, and then came out last week and beat the Eagles. So they've had sort of an up and down start to the season. Still nothing in this game, just one behind in it, or 1 point. Glenelg lead. Casserly, number 3. Well, they're really expecting big things out here at Elizabeth this year. They've won their first 3, and that's all you can do, and they're very keen to make it 4 on end. It would be a marvellous first month for them.
Certainly would, and I think you'll find this is a very good start by the Glenelg Football Club, going into that slight breeze, not giving away an inch.
McCulley. Caught in a tackle. Pyman. Was it too high? I think the umpire is indicating that that's exactly what happened. And Christopher Pyman with the free kick. Pretty well on centre wing. Bangs it up toward left half forward. Girdham. Wakeland. Well, not Wakeland, it was Richardson actually. Hocking. Well done. Strooper. Now a chance for McGuinness. Gee, he was just besieged, wasn't he? Here's the centreman for the Bulldogs. McGowan, high kick. Good kick. And a good mark too, taken by Coffey. Way out in front.
Certainly was, and I'd like to pick up that Centrals player with Coffey there. I think it might have been Schwert. As we have a look, he just stopped the run from War, I think it was. And Coffey had no problems in grabbing that one.
There's been a lot of 2 outing lately, hasn't there, with a forward, with a full forward, when 2 players, one of them blocks his path, as you said then, and the other, if he's caught behind, is trying to do the spoiling from that position. Here's Coffey from 45 metres out. The umpire goes a long way to his left, but I think he's got it. No, he hasn't. Well, the only reason I said that was because everyone was clapping up here. And admittedly, it did look as though it went through, but it's 1-1 apiece.
Yeah, we don't want to miss those.
Don't want to take notice of everyone in the grandstand either. Here's War. Lays it off to Rubenik, back to War. Didn't gain a lot there, but they've still got possession. Out very wide here. Oh, gee whiz, he was besieged and beset upon by Richardson. Hasn't had a great influence yet, Richardson. He started at, did a lot of work at full forward last year. There's Schwert and Stevens and Simons. So as Michael said, as we approach the 23-minute mark, some interesting and fascinating matchups with West and Harada up the other end of the ground. That's the right of screen, the direction the footy's going now. That's Bowe over on the far side. Lyndon Bowe, and there's War. No, that's Lyndon Bowe. War's got slightly redder here, doesn't look unlike him. Toward centre half forward. There's War, number 23, former Geelong player. Schwert puts the hand in the air and says, there's got to be a free kick. Do you do that a few times, Michael?
Well, you do that as often as you can. Sometimes you might think the umpire's a little bit gullible. We'll give the free kick.
You'd never have conned an umpire, would you? Or not?
No, in the early days, they look after you.
Certainly did in 1981. So here we go. Bowe. Now Glenelg starting to move the ball forward. This is Bartlett. Way over on the far side. Tries to centralise it towards centre half forward. Good work, Jim West. Loses a boot. decides that the hand pass is the best option. Mansell, Caldo, 2 to beat again, a 2-out situation. Oh, Cotton left it behind. Now, can Caldo capitalise? No, he can't. And Cotton gets a free kick. Gee, they were a bit lucky there.
Very lucky, and great work by Caldo. He actually knocked the ball out of Cotton's hand, and that was a very good second effort.
Stephen Schwartz kicked to the wing. Wall was there, and so too was Cook. Simons, good work by Peter Green. Never ever gave up at any stage there, put pressure on him. As a result, Ingerson bangs it toward left half forward. Good distance in that kick, but it's going to be repelled again. No, it's not, because Hamilton's kick went straight into Peter Green's chest. It ricochets to the side of the pack. The whistle has gone, and the free kick is going Hocking's way, who's had a short back and sides this year. He looks a little different. Certainly to last year, he hardly played a game. In fact, I don't think he played at all. Ingerson filling the hole at centre half-back. Here's Hocking with a bad leg injury. Or a back injury, I think it was, Michael, wasn't it?
Hocking had a... No, I don't think it was. I think it might have been a knee.
A knee, was it? We'll get it right in the end. Anyway, he's playing today at full-back or a back pocket. Play on the far side of the ground, and it's now out of bounds. So conditions... I just get the feeling it's starting to get a little colder here, and the cloud is starting to envelop the Elizabeth Oval. We may well get some rain. Just into time on now. 25 minutes gone. Ingerson again. Here's Schwert. Well, he's been pretty industrious, hasn't he, in this first quarter. Whoa, way over the top, McCulley. Couldn't hang on with the gloves. Peter Green, desperation. Well done, Lures. High kick. Down ground for Coffey. Good work at the back by Rouvray. Oh, that almost went back to Coffey. Goes in again, right over the top of Richardson. And there'll be a ball up. Desperate footy, isn't it?
It is desperate. It's very aggressive, and both sides have been like that all year, and I think that's why they have improved, particularly Glenelg. Very intense, and the Central District Footy Club this year, their second effort is as good as their first.
So here's Coffey again. Can he do something constructive? Peter Green again. Wonder whether Peter's having a run on the footy now, Michael. He's down on the forward line. We've got David Green back there looking after the Ruck Rovers. Here's Swert, Gurdon. Peter Green over there. Here's Swert again, trying to do something constructive. Hallahan in trouble. Just not pretty at the moment. The kick out, that could have been a little dangerous. Here's Heel. Toward left half forward. It's Casserly, though, just able to take it on his chest in the middle. Just forward of the middle. Justin Casserly, 20 years of age. This is his third league game. He's taking a week and a half. Now 2 weeks.
He's just got to get it on.
Just taken a month there. And pretty well from the middle. Oh, gee whiz. He took so long and then kicked it to 2 Glenelg players, 2 Glenelg defenders. It's quarter time here at the Elizabeth Oval. And it was a little scrappy. It was tough and hard, though. But at quarter time, it's 1-1 apiece. Central District 1 goal 1, Glenelg 1 goal 1, 7 points apiece. All set to go now for the commencement of the second term here in this game out at the Elizabeth Oval. It's 1-1 apiece, nothing in this game. It was a scrappy first quarter, but it was certainly interesting footy to watch. Straight past Casserly, that footy at 100 mile an hour. They've got a chance here, though, because Mansell's in front of goal and he chips and he goals. Good start for the Bays. Excellent hand pass from Caldow, and Mansell gets his first, and the Bays within, well, virtually 15 seconds get their first for the quarter.
Good work by the Bays, particularly in McGuinness, as we see McGuinness always thinking, couldn't pick up the ball, surrounded by 4 or 5 players, and Caldo did well to pick it up, got rid of the handball, albeit at his feet, but Mansell, being a very good player up in the forward lines, had no problems in putting that one through.
Just the start they needed. You were impressed with Glenelg in that first quarter, Michael?
Well, they were. They knew they had to come out. Centrals have been very hard and ferocious in their attack on the footy, and all the Bays have to do is match that, and it's the side that's going to drop first, and their intensity is probably going to win the game.
Pyman with the footy, but the free kick goes back to McGowan. Gets on with it in a hurry. Good distance with the kick. Boots it down toward right half forward. Here's War battling after it. So too David Green. Stevens comes in, tries to do shepherding on lost 2 players, got rid of one of them though.
Oh,
right over the head there of Lewis. Opportunity now for Gurdon, 35 metres out, it's bending away to the left-hand side. Big build-up, nothing doing.
Well, you'd like them as easy as that every time you had a possession, but unfortunately the skipper couldn't put through the 6 points, but there was, they all got underneath it. Maybe the sun was in their eyes, and Roger Gurdon unfortunately missed it for the Dogs.
Short kick in by Rouvray to Rubenik. Out now even wider on the half-back flank. Kretschmer. This is the big ruckman for Glenelg. McCulley to the wing. Oh, that was a good kick. Pinpoint to heel. Gave it to Bailey. Simon's running with him, telling him that everything's okay. There's no one within cooey of you. Now he has to get rid of it, Bailey. Good kick toward Bartlett. No mark, just couldn't hang on to it. Strooper down there trying to do something constructive. And there'll be a ball up. Left forward pocket for the Bays. Gee, that was a good build-up there, but just couldn't finish it off. 2.5 minutes gone.
Well, it was great work by Dean Bailey, and he probably could have gone another 5 or 6 steps further and had a kick for the goals.
Here's Bartlett. Oh, Bartlett round the corner, and he's missed everything, though. And it's out of bounds in the right forward pocket. So what have they done?
Well, he is picking up Bailey, he's picking up McGowan. McGowan been reasonably quiet to date. But then when you say he's been quiet, and at the end of the day, he's picked up 25 possessions. And normally most of those will hit one of his players.
Okay, so the throw in now in the right forward pocket. We're praying that the rain will stay away. It has so far. Strooper, McGuinness wearing the gloves. High kick. Caldo, 1 out. Wakeland, 2 grabs at it, 3 grabs at it. Now the defence swooping. That was Wakeland's hand pass into the back there of Bartlett. Nothing doing though. Oh, have a look at this. Mansell, left foot around the corner, misses. Behind. Just really poking and prodding, aren't they? 2-2 to 1-2.
Yeah, the second term started as the first did. It's very scrappy, and no side really can get any momentum going at the moment.
Huey Reimers wearing the long sleeves, and why wouldn't you today? Good kick to Ingerson territory, knocked away from him. Hallahan, again they go in. They're peppering the goals. This is Kretschmer into the forward pocket. Well done by Reimers, knocked to the front of the pack. Chance for West though, playing in his 151st game, and big James West has belted it through. Another goal to the Bays, and they stretch the lead. It's 3-2 to 1-2.
5-minute mark of this second term, and Glenelg have started very well. And Jim West, have a look at that, very cool. Was looking to give off, had no players running past, and just took 1 step and put it through.
Well, he can be a match winner, and he's got his first today. 1 goal for big Jim West. Four and a half minutes gone, 3-2 to 1-2. Important play this. Ingerson had it, then lost it. Jimmy Wine hasn't got as many possessions as we might have thought. Opportunity now for Rubenik, gives it to War. Stout defender. Stevens, he needs a good bounce, doesn't quite get it. Bounces off his chest, in fact. And the ball is down at right half forward for Central.
One thing about Scott Stevens, he attacks the ball every time he goes at it, and that's what any coach would want.
Just really clocks up the miles, doesn't he?
He does.
Heel is opposed to him. Most players playing on the wing. McCulley knocks it beautifully done. That was very good to Hamilton, who kicks inside the centre square. Not quite inside the centre square. Oh, well done by Big Hereda. Opportunity now for Central District. McGowan, Coffey down ground. Green, this is Peter Green, tried to swoop, then tries to bullock his way through. There is, here's a chance for Coffey. Just running the wrong way, and he's just being swung around. In the end, he ends up on his back, and it was holding the ball, and Rubenik gives it across, and they'll sweep this away from the danger zone. This is Kretschmer, out wide to John Simons. Puts everything into that kick. Down ground toward right half forward. It was 2, wasn't it? Bartlett. Now Heel, looking for Caldo, couldn't find him. Hamilton, not Hamilton, that was Hallahan. West again, he's proving dangerous. This is a high kick, it's going to bounce through. It's a terrific goal. Well, that was quite extraordinary. It was up in the air for an hour. And Jimmy West gets his second, and they've exploded here. 4-2 to 1-2.
Well, Jimmy West be very happy with that. He gave the ball plenty of air, as you said. He's put it up 50 metres into the air, and the wind has just carried it forward. Young Castley just couldn't get back in time. It had just gone over the line. Good evasive skills.
That is an outstanding goal, and it was up there for so long. Castley getting back, didn't have a hope. Well done, Jim. 2 goals to big Jim West. 18 points to margin all of a sudden. The Bays lead. Gee, they're enjoying themselves at the moment. Already up onto the half-forward line. Here's Heel. Short kick. West again. He's getting a million touches. Stevens. And umpire Daniel Cow will come across and ball it up. Smack bang in the front of the Glenelg goal.
Strooper and McGowan just having a little bit of tete-a-tete.
Well, I think there'll be plenty of that today. There's a lot at stake in this game. Only early days for the season, but gee whiz.
Well, the Dogs just not quite getting the drive across their centre line as they have in the past, and McGowan and Stevens in particular just need to creep into the game a little bit, Bill.
Here's Strooper. Too far out, you would think. Funnier things have happened, though. David Strooper, delisted by St Kilda. There's a good kick too. Wasn't that a very good kick? And it hit Bartlett on the chest. That was outstanding.
On the George Best, no problems at all. He led very well. He held back. There was nothing forthcoming.
That's a good point though, Michael. He led superbly, didn't he? Straight into the hole. Here's Bartlett's kick, and he has... What's he done with that? I think he may have put it through. No, he's missed. So they're doing all of the attacking in this early stage for the first 8 minutes or so. I don't think Central have hardly had it forward. 4-3, plays 1 goal 2. Deep in defence, Wind. Jimmy Wind. What a player he is. Good kick, and a fine mark there taken by Huey Reimers. Stevens. This is David Green on half-back into the midfield area. Oh, good mark. Lures. Not really in the game at the moment, but it's his first major one. First league game back for a while. Castley running through from half-back to half, or from the centre to half-forward. Nothing doing with that kick, though. Rubinick in trouble. Gee, that was very good by Rubinick. Very skillful play. But as a result, he was put under a bit of pressure, and the kick wasn't so good. It went to Hereda. Here's Cotton, all by himself. He's got about 60 metres to go before he hits the goal. It's a good kick, goes 40 metres, and Coffey's taken the mark at the back.
Well, Grant Coffey just dropping back. Paul Rouvray didn't know where his body was, and that's what Paul Rouvray does very well. Body on body, he's an exceptional player, and Coffey just managing to nudge him out.
Oh, they need this one, Michael, don't they?
Well, they do. It'll be their first scoring shot for the quarter.
1 goal, 1 for Grant Coffey. Look, he shouldn't have any trouble with this, really. I mean, he's directly in front, 30 metres from goal, everything going for him. And the umpire hardly moves a muscle and watches it go over his hat. And Coffey gets his second, so they stop the rot there because Glenelg were getting right away.
They were, and it's very interesting to see just before that when Simon Lewis came on, actually took a grab, how important it is for every possession to count. And he had Hereda running through, the handball went to ground, and he puts all the forwards out of position and just makes that a little bit harder to get a clean play.
Lewis at centre half forward on Hamilton. And we've got Ingerson from the left, McCulley from the right. Centre square infringement. It's going the Bulldogs' way. Looks as though it'll be going to Big Ingerson. So Anthony Ingerson from the middle. Oh, gee, it wasn't a good kick, though, was it? Hamilton, well, he was just a bit too slow in the end, but did get his kick away fortuitously. Hocking way over the top to Bailey, getting a few valuable touches, and from the middle goes down ground looking for West. Got one hand onto it. Chance for Ingerson, well done to Green. Somehow those two combining, and have a look at this. Now they've got some sort of a chance as Schwerty's got the footy. Little chip pass is okay. Lures. A couple of touches in the last minute or so. 85 metres from goal. What's up forward? Goes long to Coffey, and again he's got it. He was a metre in front again, Michael.
He was. It's very hard to, when the ball's put out in front like that, the big guy's just going to put his hands up and you're never going to get it.
Had a bit of experience, hasn't he? 139 odd games. He's on a tight angle here. He's going to kick from about 55 metres. Well, he's put everything into that. That is a very good kick to the front of the square. The big hands go up, no mark taken. Cook there as well. It's desperation stuff. And there'll be a ball up directly in front of the central goal. Well, they've just arrested this, what could have been a bit of a problem period for them, haven't they?
Yeah, Glenelg could have caught up in front, actually gone on with it. But to their full credit, they persist, and that's what made the Dogs such a good side today.
Reimers, now Ellis, who's come onto the ground. Good work, good smothering there by Hocking. Little 1%ers. They don't go into the stats, but that was very good. But in the end, they get it back, the Bulldogs. Ellis gives it to Ingerson, into the pocket. Coffey, got a hand to it. Well, he's presenting himself all right.
That's all you have to do. You've got to make the play, albeit really into that pocket, that dead pocket. It's going to be very difficult to kick a major from there.
Well, that's a good point, Michael. He's presenting himself okay, but perhaps he should be presenting himself directly in front of goal rather than to that pocket. But he's getting a hand on the footy. That will probably give his confidence a bit of a boost. Here's Swert's kick from about 35 metres. Oh, that's come back! Oh, let's have a look at that. Don't tell me, no, he's missed. Well, that was unbelievable. The wind got hold of it and swung it round. It was almost a goal.
It was kicked to perfection, but unfortunately just not enough yards.
Unbelievable. In some ways, he was a bit lucky that it swung back as far as it did. But boy, oh boy. Anyway, Stevens has got the footy. It's all happening. Inside 50 goes the kick. Coffey getting his hands to it again. He'll have red leather all over his hands by the end of the day because he's certainly getting a lot of the football.
Great work by Ingerson then. When the ball was kicked out, he just waited. The ball was in about 2 or 3 metres and just shepherded for Scott Stevens to take a non-contested mark.
Strooper off and Bow on. 32 is Bailey. So Lyndon Bow comes on. It's John Simons there, number 1. Another ball up. Knocked to the back, Stevens. 60 metres out, good kick. Excellent vision. Excellent vision to Cotton. Can he kick it?
It'd be a difficult one for him, but as you called it correctly, Mark, that is a sensational pick-off, and that's what makes Scott Stevens such a valuable player.
So here's Cotton. Jared Cotton from about 50 metres, not quite. At the back is Coffey. We'll have a look at the desperation there. And that was from Visca. He's pleading with the umpire that there was something in that.
Well, he was grabbed, but obviously the umpire went through and caught it afterwards.
Here's Hocking now from the southern end of the ground. Good strong mark taken by Hamilton. Off he goes to McGuinness, from the middle of the ground. They transfer play straight down the middle. Oh, big chance here. Who's going to get back? It's big Ryan Harada and Hallahan. That's the short and the tall of it. Harada just quite happy to see the footy go over the line. He's being very careful he doesn't poke it over as well.
Well, that's the way to go. 2 kicks and straight down the middle of the ground. McGuinness getting the ball on quickly, and unfortunately for West, he couldn't quite grab hold of it.
Yes, didn't take them long. It was down there in a twinkling, wasn't it? Good direct football. Throw in left forward pocket. Ingerson. Schwert hands it off to Reimers. They don't panic. They might have to now, though, because Kretschmer gets it across to Simons, in trouble, needs to give it off to someone, not successfully. Hallahan, Casserly, and a ball up.
Well, it's desperate stuff, and that's what happens in the forward lines. You don't want to give any easy ones away, and both sides are doing that at the minute.
Very congested area too. Here's McCulley. Oh, round the corner goes McGuinness, and he's missed.
Phil McGuinness is a value for touches, without a doubt. He knows when he's got plenty of time, and he knows when he has to get the ball on quickly, and that is an art.
Huey Reimers about to kick the ball back into play. 4-4 to 2-4. Now,
free kick.
That kick has travelled out to Squirt, but there's a free kick off the ball, and it's going back to David Green from centre half back. David's kick, well, not a particularly good one. He wouldn't be that proud of that. Awkward conditions down there, though. Heel and then short to McGuinness. So McGuinness is about 60 metres odd out. He's a 23-year-old. Can he kick this here, Michael?
Well, if he gives it a bit of air, like Jim West did the previous goal, he can get pretty close.
He's the glove one. And he's pretty keen about his chances here. Good looking kick from here. It's certainly got the distance, but not the accuracy on this occasion. And it's through for a behind to the right. What about the gloves, Michael?
Well, I really think that if you need the gloves to assist you in marking the ball better or handling the ball better, I don't think they should be legal.
You think that would be deemed outside of the rules?
It's a skill.
There's Reimer's kick toward half-back. Oh, beautiful bounce in the end there by Bow. Squares it towards centre-half forward. At the back was West. Rebounding was Ingerson. Cotton. Now Wakeland underneath the giant scoreboard over there on the far side, or almost run down McGowan. I'd be interested to see his stats. Lewis up in front. Missed the mark, did the tackling. Good second effort there by Lewis. And then again. Then he gives a free kick away after all of that. Gee, you can be a bit unlucky, a bit stiff. Simons. This is John Simons. Good vision again. Low mark taken down there by Kretschmer. Hallahan off the ground, attempting to gain good meterage. Heel. Bow. Well smothered by Schwert. Another 1%er. Back it goes to Nigel Mansell, as he's affectionately known, and that's a great kick. Well done, Mansell. Good kick, and Glenelg stretched the lead again. He's pretty pleased about it. 5-5 to 2-4.
Well, great work by the Bulldog backline there. Schwert, great smother. But Glenelg keep persisting, throwing the ball around. McGuinness in there again. And Mansell, when he knew that he had the time, took another couple of steps and just drilled it from about 45.
So that's his second. Done his job in this term. 5-5 to 2-4. 35 plays 16, and at the moment, Glenelg in command. They've done it pretty well. Once again, a ball up, pretty well on the centre. What was it like to play at here, Michael? Tough?
Well, you're asking the wrong person out here. Very tough. They're very parochial, like any home side are. But it's such a big ground, and Centrals do play it very well.
It's almost, or is it bigger than Footy Park? It's pretty close, though, isn't it?
It's very close. I'm not sure of those stats.
Okay, the ball inside 50. At the back is Huey Reimer, sensing that there is some concern back there because Glenelg have been able to get 2 or 3 goals in this term. Here's Stevens. Hallahan put him under pressure, just enough so that Stevens in turn put Reimers under pressure, but he was good enough to get away with it. The kick goes straight down the throat of Heel. Simon Heel now goes laterally. McCulley, did he take that?
Not a problem.
Oh.
Wrap that up.
We had a situation with Steve Waugh in the Caribbean. Bit of a controversy about a catch that he may have taken in that game. There's a good catch at the back. No, not paid by West. Or has it been? No, the mark has been paid in front, and I guess that's fair enough. Ingerson, West wasn't too happy about that. Just vocalising a little to the umpire. Wind. Have you seen his game? Quickly.
Well, hasn't done a lot today.
Schwert, who always is industrious, down ground to Lewis, straight through his legs. Simon, that wasn't particularly good. And you should have made a little more than that. Casserly, Cotton, trying to run away from Waugh and does so, then boots it inside 50. It's Coffey. Well, this time he's in the opposite pocket, Michael, but he's got the footy.
He's got the footy, and as we've seen, can kick a long way, and that was good work by Cotton. Followed the ball up, had no problems in getting around the McCulley, and hit him right on the chest.
What's Coffey got? He's got 2. 1 on the first and 1 on the second. He may have had a quiet one last week, but he has had a good year. 14 goals to date. But that, well, the kick was okay. It didn't make the distance. No one went for it for the Bulldogs. And Rubenik able to wrap that up.
He was. Richardson was held back in the pack then.
Unbelievable. So here's Hocking. Out wide, Strooper and Cotton. Big Strooper trying to do something constructive. And he gets a free kick, and the umpire says, play it on. Good-looking kick. Reimers in front. Comes to the front. Hereda, the 2 defenders working in tandem. Here's Stephen Schwert. He's everywhere. He is everywhere at the moment. Down ground, and now Central District through Ellis. Gary Ellis, the 20-year-old, only played 14 games. 40-metre kick, outstorms Coffey. Now, will he get a free kick? No, it went against him. Or it went against the Bulldogs at least. And Rouvray able to repel the attack. Out wide, Heel. Simon Heel. Infield, McCulley. A few mistakes. Lyndon Bowe on his knees gives it to McCulley. And McCulley kicks down ground toward full forward. No one able to take it successfully. And here's Wakeland. Rebounding again. Good kick, good lead too. That was excellent by Wine. He really pumped it on the accelerator there and made up good ground. Richardson, who's hardly had a touch. And I don't think I'm being too harsh there, am I?
Well, you're not. He hasn't done much to date. Visca's done a great job, and he's played mainly at half-forward flank. He gets this one a little bit too high. Yeah, a nice slap around the head. Just to let him know he's there.
There's Richardson's kick. Well, the wisdom of that I'm not really sure of, because it was just a bit too far. Perhaps the target was Lewis or Stevens, but it was way over their head. Up goes Ingerson. Almost a spectacular grab. Richardson in trouble again. Hallahan likewise. Eventually the ball ricochets to the centre square area. Casserly got one on the back and he'll get a free kick. Little Casserly, number 3. Justin Casserly, tough customer. Just played 3 games, the 20-year-old. Rocking and rolling at half-back. And then goes beyond the wing up to right half-forward. Plenty of hanging on again. So Central District, through a couple of free kicks, have gained about 60 metres. This is Simon Lewis. Well, have a look at this. Schwert all by himself. So once again, good vision on the on that occasion by Lewis, and Schwert able to read it well. Short kick is okay to Cook. They should make something of this, Michael.
Well, they should, and Tim Cook, just a youngster too, 21 years of age.
Here he goes with his left boot. He'll kick from 40.
Lovely kick.
Good straight kick, wasn't it? Straight through the middle. So they keep in touch, and they must do that. 5-5 to 3-4, and we've played almost 23.5 minutes of the second term.
That's good work by Tim Cook. Moved down the ground. There was a spot there, and Schwert, well, always knowing someone's in the middle, and just picked him off.
They made hard work of it. A couple of free kicks, Michael, and then 2 short kicks, but the result was good. Timmy Cook gets his first, an important one in the context of this game, because it's low scoring at the moment. Stevens with a boot. Ellis held on to by Rouvray, and he's going to get the free kick. Rouvray stands the mark. What's happening? Richardson's by himself. No, he's not. That was Ingerson calling for it over the head of him. Coffey again! Oh, well, I'll tell you what, he's starting to really come into the game, Michael.
Well, he actually presents an option all the time. He's big and he's strong. He's athletic. And that's all you have to do to be a forward.
And he's kicked 2 goals.
And be a successful forward.
2 goals or 3? No, 2 goals. 2 goals, 1 to be precise. Important one here for you, Grant. You're 35, 40 metres out. Will that bend back? I think it has. Oh, that's a ripper of a goal. So another one to Coffey. He gets his third. It's 5-5 to 4-4, and back come the doggies.
Well, he's kicked 2 in 2 minutes, or the Dogs have kicked 2 in 2 minutes. And 2 players falling to the ground in front, which made it a little bit easier for Coffey. But the Dogs haven't played well, and yet they're 7 points behind.
Well, he's such a confidence player, Michael, isn't he? And that would do his confidence the world of good. 3 goals before half-time. You might get 4. So back in the centre, and this place has come alive now, because they were staring down a very deep and dark barrel about 10 minutes ago. McCulley doing the ruck work for Glenelg, and Ingerson for Central District. It's up on the half-forward line now for Glenelg, but a chance for Stevens. Ellis, was he held on to? Rouvray whipped it away, so too did Heel. A chance now for Bowe. Lyndon Bowe chips short and gets Jimmy West. No, that's Bartlett. Another tall forward for Glenelg. He wastes no time. Caldo at the back. Very good work, destructive work by Wakeland. Knocks it into the right forward pocket. And there'll be a throw-in between really the half-back line and that back pocket for Central District.
Bartlett done a lot of good work today, but that probably wasn't the best kick. Caldo going for the lead and just put it on top of his head.
Yeah, it was good work, wasn't it, at the back as well. Now the ball in the forward pocket again. So things starting to really rev up here. Just 7 points in it, 28 plays 35. And we're not far away from half-time. So they've really stymied that onslaught, Michael, haven't they, Central? And they've actually turned things around, because just 7 points in it. Here's Hallahan trying to work hard. Another goal here by Central would make it interesting. but you can bet your life that the Bays will make things difficult for them. Both sides you would expect to be in the finals this year.
Without any doubt whatsoever. I think Centrals, in my opinion, will finish in the top 2, and Glenelg won't be far off that mark.
No, they both showed wonderful signs so far in 1995. What's happening here? Free kick going to Nigel Mansell. So Nige, as he's known, short chip pass by Mansell, and that finds Bailey. What's his caper today, Bailey?
Well, he's done pretty well against McGowan. Tony Simon's throwing a few of his players off the bench in Kretschmer and Strooper at the minute.
West trying to get a handle on that. Here's John Simons. Oh, good, clever work there. Hallahan wants to swing it around his right shoulder, and as a result, well, it didn't come off, did it? Because Herrera was there, and they're going to run it out because Schwert has the footy, takes 2 bounces, and he probably can go for a third. In fact, he could have gone for a fourth, but he decides to chip it over the top to Casserly, and infield he goes. Smack bang in the middle now is Stevens. He bangs it towards centre half forward, way over the top. Have a look at Coffey getting back. He just hasn't got the pace there, Michael, but they've got a chance through Wine. Wine goes in again, and he had a big chance to kick it off the ground, but to the Glenelg defence credit, they came in very quickly.
A lot of soccer tactics there, and the Dogs, great movement from the back line. Here we go, off the ground by Coffey. Jimmy Wine running onto it, couldn't quite connect.
So the ball up, right in front of, good work there by Big Fist.
Free kick in the back to McCulley.
Was it? Yeah,
from Coffey.
That fist coming from Hocking. McCulley, well, he couldn't get any further back into defence than McCulley is at the moment. And they're trying to stem things here. At the back is Stevens. Schwert runs onto the footy, a late goal, a possibility here. Is it? Here's Cook again, round his left shoulder. He's banged it through for a wonderful goal. What a storming finish here as half-time approaches by the mighty Bulldogs. They trail by just 1 goal. Sorry, Michael. 1 point, I should say.
When you have a look at this, Mark, Stewie McCulley has done fine work in ruck, but that was a very, very dangerous kick, and it has proved costly. Should have gone long. Have to be pinpoint accuracy on that one.
2 goals to Timmy Cook, and that was a ripper. That was very special and very timely, I might say. Where is he? There he is. Number 6. Put him down for his 2nd goal. 1 behind, 1 point the difference. There's nothing in this game. Lyndon Bowe, quick kick forward. It's going to bounce inside the attacking 50. But Huey Reimers able to swing it wide. Cotton, who's been quite good. And he's at half-back at the moment.
Tony Simon's ringing a few more changes. He's actually moved Cowdo out to centre half forward or the half-forward line, and Jim West to full forward.
So can they get another late goal? It would be pretty good if they could. They'd tear the grandstand down here. Stevens received it from Schwert and then spots a player about 30 metres down ground. It's Lewis. Well, he showed a lot of courage there because he was running smack into two Bay defenders, and one of them is Hocking, and he's about 6'8" and very big and tough. Rouvray, well done. The siren goes. It's half-time. It's been a beauty. An excellent 2nd quarter as Hamilton's taking an age and a half to get up. But checking the half-time score, it's 5-5 Glenelg. Central are 5-4, 1 point the difference. You're watching all of the action on ABC TV Sport.
And that's what's impressed me with the Dogs this year. They've been intense, and they don't give in from the first siren to the last.
5-4 to 5-5, just the 1 point the difference. It's been a good game of footy, particularly that 2nd quarter. It was a little bit scrappy in the first term, but that 2nd quarter really came alive, and it's such an important game for both sides. It's been a great start for Central District this year as Green gets the kick up toward left half forward. They've won their first 3. Wouldn't they love to just kick off the month, the first month of 1995 with 4 wins?
Well, Tony Simon's made a few changes at the start, threw his side around a little bit. Paul Hamilton Hamilton did start on Simon Lewis, just finding his feet at this stage, and at the moment it looks like Jared Hocking has moved on to him.
Here's Jimmy Wines. I'd love to see his stats. He hasn't had a lot of kicks, but what he's done with them has been pretty useful. On that occasion, though, Coffey was caught at the back, and Rouvray, who kicks very wide to the far side. Opportunity now for Simons, and Simons kick, well, he got about 20 metres out of that, and it's out of bounds on the far side. A couple of changes. Damien Arnold is out of the Central District side with a leg injury, we understand, Michael, and Tony Richaw out of the Glenelg side. Incredibly enough, he's at a toy convention in Sydney.
Yes, something different, and he told the coach last week after the game that he couldn't line up, so in some sense work must come first.
McGuinness to Heel, and Heel delivers up toward left half forward. Here's Wakeland working well with Caldo, who's come out to centre half forward. Green doing pretty good work on the half-back flank. Chips to Wine. Smack bang in the middle now is Stevens. Short chip pass. No mark taken by Lewis. Just needed that first 2 quarters to settle himself down. I would expect the coach would have had a good talk to him. Out wide, Hallahan. About 2 kicks from goal. Maybe 3 with Hallahan kicking short there. Bartlett, no, he lost it. And Reimers is a very good defender. Pyman likewise. Strooper with him. Out of bounds, far side.
Well, he did good work then, Reimers, but Bartlett knew he had to run on. Hallahan had nothing to kick to, and unfortunately he lost it. Didn't turn around quick enough, and out of bounds it went.
So just the 1 point in it. Glenelg lead. Have won 2 and lost 1. Lost that game to Norwood a couple of weeks ago. Big Huey Reimers touched off the boot. Play on the call. Green. Girdham doing the shepherding. This is David Green. There's a Peter playing as well. They're both good players. Peter's from Carlin. That hand pass was terrible by Ellis. It was absolutely atrocious. It went straight to heel. Stevens was into his back. But Michael Abbott came across and he'll ball it up.
Have a look at that. Really, he must have seen Hill just standing there. Stevens actually running straight to where Hill was, so the handball just wasn't on. A quick kick would have been sufficient.
Sufficient. Is that the
That's
word?
it. That's it.
There's a horse called Sufficient about 20 years ago. Won a couple of good races. There's the kick now down ground to Coffey. That was pretty good by the big man. Now he's got a chance and he does do the intelligent thing. He kicks off the ground. They should get a goal here. Richardson, who's been quiet. And Richardson belts it through from about 15 metres in front. And the Bulldogs are in front.
Well, in front probably for the first time today. And Richardson, playing most of the games at half forward this year, has been put down to a forward pocket and just sat back while the Glenelg defenders went for the ball. Probably a bit lucky. Good work by Coffey kicking the ball, and Richardson had no problems in putting that one through.
It's Richardson's first. I remember him from last year taking so much of the turf to wind his run-up. 6'4" to 5'5". One of the biggest run-ups as he shoots for goal I've ever seen. Here's McGowan. High kick down towards centre half forward. Rubinick. Now the whistle has gone. The umpire's blown it. He was pretty close to the action. He sorted out a free kick, and Roger Girdham taking it. Just not too pleased about it either. I wouldn't be saying too much about it. You got the free kick, Rog.
Well, we'd like to see that again. I think it was a bit ticky-touch. He was held for a split second after the punch away, and the umpires have been known to let them go.
Directly in front, Roger Girdham, who's been such a wonderful player in the local competition. Have a look at this, another one to Central District, and they start to increase this lead. Well, it's been an amazing passage of play, the first 2 or 3 minutes of this quarter, Michael, and probably the last 10 minutes of the second term.
Well, really, Glenelg had all the play in the first quarter and a half. They were making the play, albeit a little bit scrappy, as we saw then, Girdham being slightly retarded, but a fine captain and a fine player for the Bulldog side.
So 11 points, the margin now to Central District after they trailed by something like 24 points halfway through the second quarter, and the ball already up onto the half-forward line, straight past Lewis. He just watched that go past his eyes. War does well, gets it to Simons. Now back to War, who's a very impressive player. Here's Stevens out very wide. Bartlett was the target, though. He's got 2 to beat. He's showing a bit of pace for a big man, but the boundary line wins out. Eastern side of the Elizabeth Oval. Vast space here. An advantage for Central, I guess, twofold.
It is, because they obviously train on it. They know the ground. It was interesting to see in that first quarter where Glenelg forwards played up the ground all day and really did reasonably well to keep Centrals down to 1-1 for the quarter.
McGuinness to heel to West, playing his 151st game today. Here's Heel, gets it back, or was that Kretschmann? No, in fact it was Hallahan. West kick is a beauty, a beautiful kick, and it hits Mansell on the chest. What's going on here?
That's a good decision, that. Cassidy really did not have to go into the back. There wasn't a lot in it. Let's have a look at this, where he's marked the ball. A beautiful handball by Hallahan. Just kept it back. Enough time for Jimmy West. Beautiful kick. Well, no, I take that back. There's really nothing in it.
He's directly in front to Darren Mansell, and he has put it through. So much needed goal there by Glenelg. Darren Mansell, what's he got now? Michael, he's got 3. So that's a good effort by Darren. And as that was all going on, Caldo came off and Kretschmann went on.
Yes, Kretschmann's had a bit of time on and off the ground today. Caldo hasn't done a lot. Was moved from full forward to centre forward for a while there. So Tony Simon's putting Strooper back there at the moment. Jimmy West and Bartlett across the half-forward line.
7-4, 6-5 in the margin. 5 points, 46 to 41. McCulley and Ingerson. Ingerson doing the ruck work for Central District with Arnold out. Schwertz kick inside the 50. Rubenik just pulled off the footy with sheer strength. Here's Coffey. Hand pass was great to Richardson. Oh, Richardson should have kicked that, surely. He knocked it forward again. They might still get a goal out of this. Jimmy Winder's goal. Well, I get the feeling there, Michael, and we'll have another look at this, and let's not be too critical, but I just got the feeling that Richo should have kicked it.
Well, they made hard work of it, there's no doubt about that. And Richardson, you called it correctly. All he had to do was throw it onto his boot. He probably may have thought he was just about to get tackled. Again, Roger Girdham doing all the hard work in there. Tim Cook, well, the handball was lucky. It got knocked on to Richardson, and all he had to do was take one step and put it through. Still, 6 points is all they needed.
Yes, and they got it from Jimmy Wind, who comes across with big raps. Number 4. There's Ingerson. That's Jimmy Wind there in screen as well. McGuinness bangs Glenelg up to right half forward. Big West, who can be a match winner. Bartlett likewise. 2 big men. 2 big forwards for Glenelg. Here's Bailey. Kicks inside 50. Good kick by Bailey, and he's found Strooper. Former St Kilda player, delisted last year, the 27-year-old. Oh, he's 26 there according to those details. He's kicked 1 goal. What do you make of him, Michael?
Very fine player. He came back in that first round against Port Adelaide, was a little bit underdone, but can play in defence or in attack. Players will be looking for big things from this gent.
Well, with Caldo off the ground, Strooper is expected to do the job. He's 45 metres out, straight as a gun barrel, that one. Yes, sirree. So good goal there by Strooper. And it's 8-4 to 7-5.
Well, the Bulldogs started well this quarter. What, they've kicked 3 to date. And the Bays 2. That's great work by Bartlett. And just before that, West. Persistence and Bailey. Just a nice little touch to a leading Strooper.
2 goals to big David Strooper. 1 in the first, 1 in the third. 8-4, 7-5. So still anyone's game. It's been entertaining since the beginning of the second quarter. Here's Lewis, smooth mover. Ingerson, left footer from about 45 metres. Coffey battling down there. Good work by Hamilton in the end. Knocked it to the pocket. Richardson pushed out of bounds. Straight into the fencing rail there. Down near some cement, so he may have hurt himself. He does look as though he's perhaps hurt a wrist. Let's have another look at that one, Michael.
Trying to get the handball away. Good persistence, yet straight into the gutter. You don't want to end up in there too often.
Coffey, Rouvray. Other games being played right around the state in the SANFL. Norwood playing West. Norwood by 49 points. The Mighty Reds in front.
And at Adelaide Oval, 2 sides a little bit underdone, but South by 4 points.
And the Eagles lead the Double Blues by 58 points. It's going to be a long year for the Double Blues. One gets the feeling, and for Phil Carman. So we're keeping you right up to date with all of the SANFL scores from today's very important round of fixtures. And the game you're watching right now is from the Elizabeth Oval. We've played about 10.5 minutes of the third quarter. And there's not much in this game. It's 8-4 to 7-5. Central lead by just 5 points. Hallahan, quick as a flash. Oh, gee whiz, that wasn't quite so quick, was it? McGuinness. In goes Pyman with desperation. Hallahan off the ground. The ball still to be won. Outstorms Ingerson. Good skills. Back to Pyman. Not in trouble because he just got through the traffic with ease. Long bomb down ground, but Hamilton's able to wrap it up a metre or so in front of Coffey.
Interesting move by Tony Simons at the moment. I think Hamilton did a reasonable job on Lewis to start with, and Hocking in the back lines too, so he's thrown his players around.
Bailey, how have you seen his game?
Bailey's done very well against McGowan. McGowan been very quiet to this date.
Here's Bartlett, here's Heel, tried to thread a hand pass through to Hallahan, held on too surely, yes.
Well, clumsy tackle by Reimers there, as we see a bit of a blue going on in the background there. And it's getting sorted out now. Scotty Stevens.
Let's have another look at this, Michael. Quite clear cut, wasn't it?
It was. And Nige Mansell's got hold of another one. Shouldn't have any problems in kicking his number 4.
Clocking up the possessions and the goals. He's already got 3. He's had 5 shots. Just a little puffed at the moment. Not hard to pick up, is he? Diminutive, but generally very good. And that is no exception. So Mansell gets his 4th. Outstanding effort. And Glenelg, well, they go to the front. They lead by 1 point.
Well, they do, and very similar to that second term where Glenelg started to kick away and the Bulldogs bounced back. And now at the start of this third term, Central starting well, kicking 3 early, but to Glenelg's credit, they've bounced back, kicked the 3 themselves.
Peter Green waiting to come on. It's 8-4 to 8-5. Glenelg lead by 1 point. Both sides with outstanding form so far in 1995. Ingerson, McCulley, Bow, good commitment there by Ellis. Cook, left footer as usual, high one to left half forward. Lewis trying to take a spectacular chest mark. Here's Rubenik. Lewis, can he get a handle on it? No, he can't. So what about Lewis? How have you seen his game?
Well, coming back after that suspension which he received last year in the final series, played in the reserves last week. He's always a good player, always dangerous. They're always good with their height and their flexibility, the Bulldogs, but I tend to think that he leads forward too often to get a lot of his plays, and if he can lead to the side and be more of a goal-kicking centre forward.
Okay, Cook gets it to Cotton, and Cotton, 60 metres out, had to stand and kick the footy. It was well away from Coffey, but it was an awkward one for him. Here's Visca, who is a class act. There's no questioning that. Goes to Rubenik, who's very good too in a back pocket. Grant Rubenik played almost 50 games. Chip pass is okay, or is it? No, Cotton did well there in the end. Hallahan just persisting though. 1 out, got that 50-50 ball, and he gained about 15 metres. So it's around there at left half back for Glenelg. 13, almost 14 minutes gone in the third quarter. Central District winning their first 3. Glenelg winning 2 and losing 1. They beat last year's grand finalist, Port and the Eagles, so their form's been pretty good. There's a chance now for War. Swept it away to McGuinness. To Hocking, over the top he goes. Lyndon Bow, I think that is. Ships towards centre half forward, or just backward of centre half forward to West, over the top to McGuinness with the gloves. You can plainly see that. Not sure of the advantage. Out very wide, well inside 50 now. Mansell, who's proving a real handful for Casserly. Still with Mansell. Gee, Nigel really clocking them up, isn't he? Tries to knock it forward in the end. A chance for Green. This is David Green, working his half-back flank pretty well. Chance now for Central District as they work it away. This is Stevens, and Stevens from centre wing gets good distance. Excellent work by Rouvray. He's proving very good. Lures in trouble. Girdham tried to thread a hand pass through. Schwert, excellent vision. Ellis out wide. They should cap this off with a goal. Peter Green, and he has missed. And Peter's just come on again.
Just come onto the ground, and McGowan has just been taken off, hasn't had one of his best days, but that is great work by Girdham. Had to handle along the ground. Schwert gets the kick beautifully away, and Peter Green, well, he should be putting those through.
Here's Hamilton. Paul Hamilton, number 18, runs the line and then swings it toward the wing. Off Big Brian Herrera's shins. In goes Lures again. Out there on the flank. Not a bad crowd here. Cold conditions. Some sign of rain that might have kept a few away, and of course we've got the live broadcast so you can watch all of the action in your living rooms. Scores dead set even at the moment. There's nothing in this game, so they can start again, these two sides. Lyndon Bowe, short pass to Kretschmer, who had terrible problems with his eye. Very well run down was Hocking. That was good by Wine. That was an excellent piece of footy. Out wide. Now, can they make something of this? Schwert is outnumbered 3-1 though, so it was always going to be a little tough for him, but he's a keen competitor as Schwert, and look at that for commitment. And he's just a little disappointed that he had so many things going against him there.
Well, he did, but he's a fine competitor, very fit, loves his footy. Obviously would have been disappointed in getting dropped off the Crows list, but doesn't drop in the bundle and comes and plays great footy for the Dogs.
Played 140 games. Yes, he is very good, isn't he? Been a wonderful cog in the Central District side. Stevens, high kick, Coffey. Now, that time he was caught, well, he was in front, but the ball over his head to Hamilton. Visca. So Coffey, well, he played so well in the first half. I don't think he's doing anything particularly different, is he? The ball's just being delivered a little awkwardly.
Yes, that the Glenelg defence really are harassing their opponents at the moment. He's got to work a little bit harder. Rouvray initially was on him, and now Jared Hocking, or is it Paul Hamilton?
Ward got that hand pass across to McGuinness. Hallahan going the wrong way. Rubinick. Short pass, straight past Pyman. Herrera left it behind. Kretschmer showing a lot of courage, going in hard, looking for the football. And that's all you've got to do. It's a pretty simple game, Michael. Get the footy and kick goals. It sounds easy.
Well, it is, and it's very scrappy at the moment. Both sides desperate. What's happening at the moment, though, when you're going to go forward, it's best to go long. They're going too short and they're getting unstuck at the moment, the Bows.
Awkward bounce. Here's Hallahan, Paul Hallahan, giving Simons an opportunity from centre wing. Ingerson should wrap this up. There was shepherding off the ball at the back by Wakeland. Bailey, can he get a handle on this? That was cleverly done to Big Jim West. Picks up. Just wasn't quite quick enough to give himself a chance to kick anything there. He was only about 40 metres out. Reimers goes laterally to Herrera, the two big men, and another big man, another defender. This is Wakeland. Kicks out very wide. Peter Green. Now they've got a chance to run the ball away from the back half. Stevens, good kick down ground. Lewis getting underneath it. So the transference of play there pretty good. Lewis 45 metres out. He's going to have a shot. Now he goes a bit shorter. Coffey's taken the mark and the place erupts. Caught at the back there, Michael, but he did everything right.
Judges it to perfection. And when you have a look at it, Visca Hamilton it was, just caught underneath it. And Coffey, well, good kick number 4.
Yes, he's got 3, 1 in the first, 2 in the second. Grant Coffey having a pretty good year so far. Well, everything's tailor-made for him here. He should bang that through, and he does. Just a little hesitation there on my brow because I looked at Coffey, he looked a little bit despondent, but no, it was straight through the middle. 4 goals to Coffey.
Well, he's had 6 shots and kicked 4-2. But I tell you what, it's great work from the Bulldog backline. I think that's where they win most of their footy. They just run it out. Lewis did great work in marking, getting to his feet, saw the one-out situation. But that man who creates a lot of work for the Bulldogs is Scott Stevens.
9-5 plays 8-5. The Bulldogs in front by 1 kick. 6 points the difference. Approaching 3/4 time, or well into the 3rd quarter at least. Mad scramble for the football. And the umpire, and that is Daniel Cow, will bounce pretty well in the middle of the Elizabeth Oval.
Well, it's going to be anyone's game to this point. And Central's going with a slight wind at this stage, so would want to be slightly in front at the break.
His heels kick, it was smothered off the boot. Ingerson. Peter Green, former Carlton player. In best position there was Hocking. Eventually went with a fist. Have a look at the Bulldogs. There's 4 or 5 of them around, like ants to honey. And a chance now for Coffey as Girdham's kick comes infield. Grant Coffey, can he kick another one? He just whipped it away and made a bit of a mess of it. He may have had a little bit more time, but that's easy to say in hindsight. As War kicks out wide, this is Simons. McCulley was his target, and the ball now out of bounds, and the throw-in to take place on the far side. More games being played around the state in the SANFL. Norwood against West Nord by 24 points.
And at Adelaide Oval, South just in front by 12.
And Eagles in front over Sturt by 50 points. So the Eagles, well, they certainly need to get some form back, don't they? Lost a few players over the border, but they look comfortable against the double blues. Bailey's hand pass was an excellent one to Kretschmer. No mark taken down there inside 50, and the defence of Central District swooping. Peter Green now, so good rebound work here, so they're turning defence into attack, and Peter Green's kick is a ground coverer. It goes about 55 metres, well done by Healy, who's onto the ground. Now Schwert, Stephen Schwert, very fit, very good player. Down ground, no mark taken there because it went through that player's hands, and Glenelg relieved the pressure. Out wide to Hallahan, who's tracking across the half-back line to the wing. Heel was the target down there. Stevens, good battle between those two. Here's Kretschmer again, and Kretschmer transporting the ball down to left half forward and then kicks into the pocket. And he's found Big Strooper. Giving them something to shoot at, Michael.
He's done well since moving to the forward line today.
Caldo a little disappointing and on the bench at the moment. Kicked 14 goals up until today. Hasn't kicked a goal so far in this game, and he's on the bench, as we've mentioned. James West. Been a real nomad, hasn't he?
He has. He's kicked 174 goals to date.
2 goals today. Short chip pass is okay to Strooper.
And that is bad defensive work by the Bulldogs. Strooper just giving it to West. Running down and popping in the spot.
Played 3 games for Glenelg after being delisted by St Kilda last year. And for a couple of other clubs as well, including Sydney. 50 metres out, slight angle. There's his kick, it looks pretty good. Distance not quite there. In the end, neither was the accuracy. Peter Green, Bailey, can they manufacture a goal? They can, no they can't. Hallahan was directly in front. And he's missed. Gee, that could be costly, Michael.
Well, he has missed, but I don't know if we can get a replay of that, but the Centrals player had hold of the ball for about 3 minutes. And was there again. Green had the ball and really should have been pinged for holding the ball.
So a lucky let-off there to Central District. Gee, the goal-to-goal line looked pretty good, didn't it, on paper for the Bulldogs with Coffey and Ingerson. I know he's not playing at centre-half forward now, but because he's been swung into the ruck. But Ingerson and McGowan. McGowan's been a little disappointing, hasn't he?
Well, just wouldn't be surprised if he's injured at the moment. Bailey's done a good job on him. He has been taking from the ground, McGowan. But really, you know, when you think he's had a poor game, he's had 25 touches, so it'll be interesting to see.
Yes, you made that point earlier. He does clock up the miles, doesn't he? He just keeps running. But we're not totally sure whether he is injured or not. Here's Reimers at the back of the pack, and he kicks inside space now over the head of Healy and Rouvray down there. He's a talented player, Rouvray, and no doubt very fit too, being a Crow. Number 3 is Rubenik. Tim Cook was down there as well. Here's Peter Green again, who looks as though he might be having a run on the football. Chance now for Lures on hands and knees. Nothing particularly good about that. It went straight to Hocking, over the top to Rubenik. Needs a runner, gets one. Accelerates away, does Rouvray. Short kick. Bartlett. Now Reimers. Oh, have a look at that. Jimmy Wine ran straight into his opponent, then it stood on his head, and it was Bartlett doing all of that damage. McGuinness grits the teeth. Short chip is okay to Bow. Where are they at the moment? As I look up off the monitor, they're in the middle of the ground, and there's Bartlett, who's in a bit of trouble. Won't be for long, though. He's, I'm sure, can look after himself. Was that a trip? Everyone in front of us suggested it was. And Wakeland to take the free kick, and he'll get 50 metres.
Well, again, very easy.
25.
Nothing really in that, but he did trip over.
Yes, 25 metres there to Wakeland. So from half-back, he bangs it toward left half forward, and a fine mark taken by Healy. Couldn't understand why he was on the bench, Michael.
Been a fine player, but then again, Centrals has got the flexibility with their big blokes that they can put them on and off the ground and forward to the back.
Here's Timmy Cook now, left footer, bang, straight through the middle. Coffey hand pass to the boy, and Cookie put it through for his third.
Well, look at that scoreline, 10-5, 65, a 9-point advantage. And Tim Cook's a great little forward. Good work by Coffey again. He's not only kicking goals, he's kicked for himself, but he's attacked that Cook coming through straight at goals, and these left footers are normally pretty direct.
Well, that was certainly no exception, and what a useful goal as three-quarter time approaches. 3 goals to Timmy Cook. Excellent day out. 10-5 to 8-6. 54 to 65. So 11 points is the margin, and it's a handy break as three-quarter time approaches, Michael.
Well, it isn't. The Bays wouldn't want the Dogs to get another one this quarter. They like to go into the break square or maybe a goal or 2 down. And with maybe a 2-goal win, we're in for exciting last term.
And such an important game for both sides. Here's Peter Green now, onto the left boot, giving the forwards a bit of a chance over the head of Richardson. Coffey having to get back. He was 2 outed there, and he's appealing for a free kick, but it's not forthcoming as Hamilton takes the free kick. He's the recipient. Lewis up in front. Well, Lewis, we know he's a very good player. First game back after suspension. Hasn't kicked a goal, but he's got a big chance here to put it through or give it every big chance. Here's the kick. Across the face of goal, into the right forward pocket. Up they go. Coffey, round the corner. Oh, he's hit the post. What an outstanding effort. What an outstanding effort, but not quite.
Well, he's come of age this season, Grant Coffey. Unfortunately for the Bays, Stuart McCulley trying to get to that ball and just couldn't make the distance.
12 points in it. I'm sure Alan Stewart would like to go into the break with this handy 12-point buffer. Schwert and also Heel, Stevens.
Work.
Simons, caught. Was that holding the ball? Yes, it was. Well, another sortie forward coming up now for the Bulldogs. Scotty Stevens, a very exciting customer from the middle of the Elizabeth Oval. Very good kick down ground. He got about 55, 60 metres with it. Cotton it was. Chance for Green over the top. Looking for a teammate in Girdham, his captain. Well done by War, showing good experience. Hallahan, so can Glenelg turn this thing around at the moment? It's on half-back at the moment. A chance now for Rubenik. He swings it now past the centre, up towards centre half forward. Bartlett at the back. Reimers is there as well. Bartlett, good, quick footy. He got it into the forward pocket in a hurry. Here's Mansell. Kick it yourself. You've got a chance to do so. It was an awkward one. West came in late. A high kick. The ball's still to be won. And it's through for a behind. A forced behind, but good build up there by the Bays and just 11 points in it.
Well, Alan Bartlett, you talk about build-up, bodied himself beautifully, and Mansell running onto the ball, may have backed himself in, did what he thought was the best, bringing it across to the centre, and Jimmy West tried to socket it and just couldn't put it through.
So the Bulldogs hanging on, and we've got just over a quarter to play, so please stay with us. We'll be having a look at matches all around the state in the SANFL. Here's Lyndon Bowe, needs a good sit on it and gets it. Now gives his forward a chance. Up they go. Strooper was one of them. Mansell the other stayed at the back. Ingerson does well. Good kicking go into the back pocket. He just had to think pretty quickly there because they were coming at him. That was Healy, the man I was talking about. Back into the back pocket. It's tough, uncompromising football, and there'll be a throw-in in that right forward pocket for Glenelg. Can they get another goal?
Well, what are we? Just 5 minutes in a time on. They'd want to be quick. They've had the opportunity in the last couple of minutes.
Still pretty tight. So stay with us. It will be an absorbing last term. Can Glenelg win their 3rd match for the year, or can Central District remain undefeated?
Tony Simons, the coach, out of the coach's box at the minute, getting involved.
Kretschmer. Tough angle. Valuable time being wasted here. There's Tony Simons. What a baptism of fire it's been for him. Big win over Port, then a loss to Norwood, and a win over the Eagles. And today, well, things are tough for him. But he'll enjoy his coaching stint at Glenelg, one would think. Had a lot of success at Victor Harbour, 2 premierships. And was a wonderful player for Glenelg, Michael.
Did very well out there. Whenever he got hold of the ball up forward, you were always on your toes.
A tough player, wasn't he?
He was a good player.
Throw in, or a ball up, and it's three-quarter time here at the Elizabeth Oval. And a quick score check shows that Central District lead by 11 points. Thank you, Stephen, and welcome back to the Elizabeth Oval. So 11 points the difference. Central District leads 66 to 55. Will they win their 4th for the year and remain undefeated? Rubinick with a very useful fist out wide, but in the end it goes to Healy. Healy round the corner. Now War, who's a very good defender. A chance for him. He knocks it to the side of the pack, and Hocking. Hocking has to go in for a second effort. Does it okay. Tries to knock it further forward. Close to the boundary line. This is Simons. And in the end the boundary line does win out. And the throw in to take place at left half forward.
Very noticeable in today's football, and I suppose it's happened for quite some time. It's just easier to look at it when you're up here, that a lot of the players seem to go to the ground when they don't need to, and you're not much use when you're on the deck.
There's Rouvray now with a very good kick around the corner, but it's a fine mark taken back down there by...
Pyman?
Yeah, it might be Pyman, number 54. Yes, gets on with it quickly. Here's McGuinness, got it from Heel. He's got the gloves on too. Simons down toward right half forward. 2-on-1 situation against Big Jimmy West, so he's probably got no hope there. And in the end it's Ingerson, got it from Reimers, now to Hereda. 3 very good players, and very tall players too. There's Huey Reimers, kick out to Stevens, so they've transferred play now to the eastern side, or the western side, that's the members' side. Now towards centre half forward, big pack, no one able to take it. That's a good bump there by Visker, he's very solid. That was on Cook. Chance now for Cotton. Cook again. They're threatening, aren't they, Central District? 2-on-1 situation now down this side of the ground. Opportunity for Jimmy Wine. He's about 30 metres out. Oh, that's a beauty. Excellent kick by Wine. And what about the hand pass from Coffey?
Well, Grant Coffey's done a lot of great work. As we said earlier in that third term, he's kicked 4, he's handed out 2, and Tim Cook has done great work there. And Jim Wine, well, ever elusive, around the body and snaps that one truly.
And there's a player coming off.
Heel.
And it is Heel. Not sure what the problem is. He's, as you can quite clearly see, being taken off by 2 assistants, but that didn't look too good at all. South versus North. South by 16 points in an update.
And down at Woodville, the Eagles by 52 points there, so not in any trouble. And having a look at the scoreline here, 2,800, so not a bad crowd. Always support them out here at Elizabeth.
So it's 11-6 to 8 goals 7. And we'll see if we can get an update on Heel's condition. He was being assisted off the ground. It looked a little worse initially because he was actually being lifted off, but then he was able to put both feet onto the ground, so that was certainly good news. Here's Stevens exploding away from the pivot up toward Peter Green, and also down ground was Richardson. An opportunity now for Visker. He senses the danger, gives it to a teammate. He was under pressure from Healy, and the ball now out of bounds.
Well, this is where the game's going to be won or lost. Glenelg can't afford to really stop at the moment. And let's see how Hill went down over the ball. And there it is. It could be a knee or an ankle. He's got it caught with Roger Girdham. And he might be in a little bit of trouble there.
11-6 plays 8-7. 11-6, 8-7. We're out at the Elizabeth Oval. We're live. Peter Green is also alive. And pretty wayward there. Out of bounds in the right forward pocket. Michael, a tip from here.
Well, I'm a fan of the Bulldogs. And I think that if they can get the next one, I don't think the Tigers will be able to get back. Stewie McCulley has done a lot of work, and he may just run out of legs where they need the ruckman controlling the work around the ground.
Here's War from the back pocket up to half back. Well, I don't know whether the gloves there worked. They may have actually got an extra 2 or 3 metres with McGuinness's hand pass.
Well, I'm not a fan of the gloves, but if they're legal and they're going to help you.
Throw in directly in front of us. Central is what they're calling out in the grandstand. Girdham well inside the 50 metres. Pass Wine. Now McGuinness knocks it out wide with the boot. Kretschmer running after it, so too Hereda. Still Kretschmer and Hereda, good battle there. Engove, who's on the ground now, number 33 for Glenelg, Simon Engove. And if you've just joined us, Damien Arnold pulled out with a leg injury for Central, and Tony Ridshaw pulled out for Glenelg. He had a toy convention. So
probably very expensive toys.
Well, I don't doubt that, and it is a legitimate excuse, according to Tony Simons, the coach. Visca. Just showing a fair amount of strength there. So Glenelg really need to get a move on. Pyman just holding things up for them at the moment. This is Wind. McGuinness stands the mark and Wind decides to just chip short. Healy well away from his goal, about 95 metres. Now they're a bit closer with Peter Green, about 60 out. And Peter Green goes looking for Coffey. Gee, he was caught well out of position there. Perhaps the kick wasn't that good either. And Hamilton from one pocket to another. This is Hocking. Well, he's got a bit of time and he'll just chip it away up to the wing and he finds Bow. Caldo back on the field or not? I don't think he is he, Michael?
Not as yet.
There's Bow's kick out to an unmarked man, and that is McGuinness, who sprints away from the centre and then bangs it down ground to Strooper. Good football.
Well, Strooper's certainly given him something since he's moved up on the forward lines. Moves very well, got the height, and is a beautiful kick for goal. And that man, McGuinness, again through the centre, similar to what the Bulldogs through Schwert and Stevens, doing all the work.
Really gritted the teeth, didn't he, there, McGuinness? So David Strooper already has 2 goals to his name. And they're all important, but this one just as important as the game draws to a close. And I think he's put it through. He has. You could almost hear a pin drop. So Strooper's pretty excited about that. It's 11-6 to 9-7. And the margin is 11 points.
11 points, and the Bays will not give in. And that's exactly what their coach, Tony Simons, would want. Phil McGuinness all by himself in the centre. Delivered it beautifully to Strooper. So, still anyone's game.
3 goals, Strooper. 11-6 plays 9-7. 7 minutes gone in the last term. Coffey doing the ruck work now. Check where Ingo's gone. I would presume he's at right of screen somewhere. Or is he off? No, he wouldn't be off, surely not. No, there he is at centre half forward. Ball now transfers out onto the half-back flank for Central District. Stevens gives it to Schwert. Oh, Stephen, one of his rare mistakes. Lyndon Bowe. Bailey, can he set something up here? Yes, he can, but only for Central. Girdham needs to be quick and is so. Ingerson, there he is. Now D. Green. This is David Green from the middle of the ground. Long bomb. Coffey! Way over the top. Could not hang on. It was a spectacular leap. And Hocking, I think, is, or is it Rouvray, may be hurt. No, he looks as though he's going to be all right. Gee, that was a spectacular leap, and those 2 players coming down pretty heavily. It's like World Championship Wrestling at the moment, because both players taking an age to get up. In fact, Coffey's smack bang on his back.
Well, he is, and Rouvray too looked very sick and sorry. Let's see what's happened here. Well, he's obviously just got caught, landed on his backside, a little bit winded. And Rouvray, well, might have got one across the head.
Might have gone out in sympathy, eh? Well, Rouvray didn't look to be much in it from his point of view, but Coffey certainly hit himself pretty hard when he came down on his back. Gee, it was a spectacular leap, wasn't it? Here's Hocking now to War, and War showing good rebounding work. Up toward left half forward, a chance for Mansell. Back he goes to Strooper, further back to Hallahan. Hallahan needed a handle on it, couldn't get it, and they swamp him. And they hold it up. Another look at this big leap, Michael, right over the top.
Well, he's an athlete, that's for sure. He can certainly get in the air. Would have been nice to hang on to that one.
Yes, would have made a difference, wouldn't it? So we'll need to take another 1 or 2 of those. Doesn't have to, of course. He just needs to kick goals, really, Coffey. He's done that today. Here's McGuinness, caught in a tackle. Hallahan into the pocket, over the head of Strooper. Wakeland down there on hands and knees. Good hand pass in the end. Oh, well, Healy knocked over after he got rid of it. Nothing doing, though. Oh, it was David Green, in fact. So Glenelg with the advantage. That was out of bounds on the full. It'll go back. So pretty tense time. Good game, Michael, isn't it?
Well, the Bays would like to stitch one up here. Get within about 5 points.
McGuinness. 60 metres out, wheels onto his right boot. Gee's done everything right here. That's right to the goal square. And Ingerson smacks it through for a force behind.
Started very well. Ingerson's dropped out a little bit. McCulley done a lot of good work around the ground. And really needs to start to controlling it to give the Bays little players more of the footy.
It's Gurdon, Central District, out of defence now. Ingerson is covering a lot of ground. So they used him in the ruck and at centre half forward. Lures with Angove. He's getting a little better as the game goes on.
Lures, yes, in front. Angove not quite judging it.
Casserly. So Casserly setting something up here for Central District.
Oh.
Coffey, have a look at this. Peter Green, bang, straight through. And this place has gone quite berserk. It's not over, but boy, oh boy, was that a handy one. 12-6, plays 9-8, and they're happy at Elizabeth.
Well, Peter Green kicking his second for the day. Spent a little bit of time on the bench, but that is a gimme goal. If you can bring him to the front, that's what you have to do. So the Dogs edge away. $16 points.
That was Peter's first, 12-6 to 9-8. So what have we got? 16 points is the margin now. Desperate times for Glenelg. But boy, I mean, in Australian footy, you can kick 2 or 3 in a twinkling. So the Bulldogs, what do they do now, Michael? Do they go defensive or do they continue to attack?
Not at all. They're attacking side, and what they're going to do is keep hitting hard at the ball. Both sides have to do it. There's no good going defensive at this time. There's another 15, 20 minutes left in this game. And you can kick 3 or 4 in a matter of minutes.
Schwert.
Schwert, fine player for the Dogs. Cook again, he's been brilliant. The little player, Stevens again, and Ingerson. He's in ruck. Non-contest there, snaps it forward. Onto wind, he can't get hold of it. It's very scrappy in there, and there's a free for a throw going to Stephen Schwert. I didn't see that. So Stephen Schwert got a chance for Richardson here and hasn't gone. He's taking his time, he's got to get a move on quickly.
Taking an age and a half. And Stephen Schwert, well, this time is ticking away. 25-year-old Stephen Schwert. Now the kick goes into the forward pocket, pushing and shoving. Coffey has taken the mark, and there was a lot of pushing and shoving down there, but it was all legal, according to the umpire, and Coffey's got a big opportunity to kick another.
Well, too much strength there on Hamilton. Hamilton's done a pretty good job in defence today. And Grant Coffey has been a player for the Dogs this year at full forward.
He's already got 4, Michael, so this would be, oh, wouldn't this be handy? Wouldn't this be icing on the cake? And he's just jagged that to the left and missed.
And there it is, down at Footy Park. The Bloods come right back into it, but Norwood by 13 points.
South South playing North. South Adelaide lead by 16 points.
And yes, Sturt's hit back by a goal, but the Eagles by 45. Not in any trouble there.
Yeah, good performance there so far by the Eagles. 12-7 to 9-8. It's been a pretty good performance so far by Central District out here at home, and the crowd love it. Free kick to the Bulldogs.
That is a silly free kick to give away by Visca.
Scotty Stevens, who's a very popular player out here, decides to chip in board and does it pretty well to Casserly. Casserly, left footer. Well, I'm not sure who he was going for there. Bartlett's been able to wrap it up at halfback. Not sure where he's playing at the moment. He was playing up forward a moment ago. There's Bartlett's kick. It is a ground coverer, and the mark has been taken by a very good defender in Wakeland. Across the face of goal to Brian Hereda. He in turn goes into the back pocket. This is their captain, Roger Gurdon, who drop punts it, boots it down ground to Jimmy Wine. And Jimmy Wine takes it in front of his eyes. Then runs into the back of Simons. He goes laterally. Big Brian Hereda will put everything into this. Down ground he goes and outstorms Lewis. And the tide, Michael Aish, has turned.
Simon Lewis just getting into it a little bit more, coming back, as we said, from suspension. Simon Agove coming off the bench after heel going off. And just picks off, oh! War fairly high on Healy. But takes the mark safely. And within kicking range, I suspect.
Came off the bench. He's a real dasher too, Healy. He's a very good player. And this would set the cat amongst the pigeons, as they say. 50 metres from goal, 45-degree angle. It's coming back, not far enough, and the distance not quite there either. Forced through from behind. So tense times here.
15-minute mark.
And they're staring their 4th win in a row directly in the face. Now let's have a look. That's Ellis about to come on, or getting certainly stretching. So the indication is that he would come on fairly soon. Rouvray. Rubenik. This is Rouvray, ran straight into a brick wall there. Back it goes. This is Mansell. Now Heel, beyond the centre. Marking contest.
Oh!
Bit high there, you would think. Against Bailey, but the umpire, oh yes, he's called it.
Well, no question about that. Far too high on Strooper. Well, Strooper's come in late. And the tackle by Bailey, I think it was.
Short kick is on to Casserly. Just has to sit and wait for it. And then delivers pretty well too to Lewis. Just looks as though he might be limping a bit, Lewis, Simon Lewis. Into the pocket. Marking contest down there, picked up by Ellis, who's just come onto the ground after doing some stretching. That was a pretty good hand pass to Jimmy Wine. Jimmy Wine's kick, not quite the distance. Cotton down there looking for it, also Simons. And this is John Simons, the brother of the coach of the Bays, Tony Simons. Bow infield to McGuinness, now to Mansell. They mount an attack that really they must get something out of here, Glenelg, if there to be any hope in this game. But the defence is proving very difficult to get past, isn't it, this Bulldog defence? Here's David Green after a series of hand passes. Beautiful kick, David. That was pretty good footy, wasn't it? And Lewis smack bang on the end of it. Short chip. They gain meterage. They waste time, and they're doing everything right. This is Healy.
Well, they are, and they just build in confidence. They never give in, the Central District football side, and they just keep at it and at it and at it. And Healy, Lurs, Potter in particular, when he's playing, and Girdham, they're just such fine players.
So here's Healy from about 48 metres, and he's just jagged that across the face of goal. Coffey is there, and so is Cook. Still with Cook, and now it was out of bounds. So the throw-in to take place in that left forward pocket.
Well, the intensity just dropped out of the game at the minute. Central seem to have things in their control, and the Bays just need a spark. There we go. Hamilton's done a fine job. He's round the body. He's kicking to no one in particular. Out of bounds on the full, and Schwert will pick up his probably 25th possession of the day. It's not what the Bays want. They want a fluent movement out of their back lines, straight down the middle of the ground, and give West and Cowder, who's come back onto the ground, something to jump at. Stephen Schwert taking his time. Kicks long. Ingerson in front. Goes to the ground. Visca's in the spot. Onto Hallahan it is. He picks off Strooper. Now here they go. Warren's got hold of it. He's got the run by Bow. Bow's going nowhere. He's going to get run down. Gives to Hallahan. They're mucking around, Bays. They're going to lose it. They have. And Ellis has now grabbed hold of it.
Yes, Central District with an opportunity to drive the ball forward as we're approaching full time here in this big clash at the Elizabeth Oval. Stevens' kick is a beauty. Gee, the delivery in this term has been very good, and Coffey did not let him down. What's he got, Michael? 4 goals?
He's got 4.
Not a bad effort, is it? I mean, really, that's a pretty good effort. He's kicked 14 up until today, so what's that, 18? And so far he's kicked 4 goals, 3. And he's just a confidence player, Grant Coffey, but if you can kick 4 and 5 a week, you've done your job, haven't you?
All that's been asked.
45 metres out, perhaps a little further than that. Oh, it's not one of his best, and just falling in a hole and taking the mark was Bartlett, but just a little drama there. Falls through from behind.
Well, rolled off the hand by Bartlett, wanted to get it on quickly, and unfortunately couldn't hit the player. Rubrick now kicking out of defence. He's got Simons, intercepted beautifully. Ellis has got hold of this. They can't get anything going, the Bays at the moment. Simon's now onto it. Hallahan's now got the run. Here they go now. Hamilton easily around. down to their forward lines, and their defence in Rhyme is disciplined as usual, just punches from behind and Swirt runs it over the boundary line.
So it's going to be tough now, isn't it? We're running out of time, or the Bays are at least.
Well, it is. Might be talking 19 points. It's been another dogged performance, as you would say.
Perhaps 4 wins for Central District, but still time. Probably about 8 or 9 minutes. Bailey in the thick of things.
And as their theme song would suggest, beware the dogs are coming.
Well, they've certainly shown enough so far this year, haven't they, Michael, that they're going to be a force. Jimmy Wine makes such a difference, doesn't he?
He's fitted in, as we said earlier, beautifully into this side. His first game was a big one.
Other games being played in round 4. Norwood v West. Norwood lead by 20 points, so the Redlegs in front there.
Adelaide Oval there. South was been tied all day there, just up by 8 points.
And the Eagles are taking on Sturt and whipping them. 51 points, the margin in that game. Tough year for the Eagles after losing so many players, as we've already mentioned. Don't want to harp on it, but they have been the trendsetters for the last couple of years after the amalgamation of Woodville and the Eagles. Simons. Reimers up in front. Bit of hanging on, according to the umpire. Haven't seen much of Daniel Cow before, the umpire. This is David Struber. We've seen a bit of him, though, because he's been very industrious. He's kicked 3 goals. He's taken over from Caldo.
Yes, Caldo had a quiet day today, but has been pretty reasonable today.
12-9 to 9-8, as you saw on the scoreboard there. There's big David Struper's kick. And what's he done with it? He's missed it. Been around a while too. Peter Symes, the goal umpire. Nice bit of work there with the left finger. So what's the margin? Too much or not?
Well, to this stage, one would think the way this final term has progressed, the Centrals had made the play, had plenty of the footy, and should maybe just sneak home.
18 points is the margin, and this is Peter Green. Oh boy, they need to do something here, don't they, the Bays?
And there it is. Simon Lurs, as we thought, has come right back into it in this final term. Taken a while to get to his feet. And Schwert had a ton of touches.
Stephen Schwert. He's a fit player, isn't he? Unlucky to be delisted by the Crows was a fairly general view. Oh, Healy right over the top of Bartlett. That was good work. And they lost it. Simons, Green, good tackling there on Moore. Ellis. Look at the birds all over the place at the moment, making it a bit awkward to see. High kick, Coffey, and also Hamilton, Bartlett. John Simons again. Chip pass is okay to Angove, and now McGuinness. And McGuinness now from half-back, way up toward half-forward. Struper at the back, he's been paid. Still time for the Bays. Struper, that's a very well-weighted kick. On to Mansell after Hocking took the mark, and Mansell's booted it through. So, Hocking surprisingly up forward. Mansell gets the goal, 12-9 to 10-9.
Good work. That's what the Tigers have been trying to do for the last 10 or 15 minutes. Nice and fluent, straight down the middle. Good work by Struper. Played it on quickly. Hocking knew Mansell was there. And Mansell kicks number 5. Number 10 for the Bays.
Well, he shifted them around a bit because West has gone up into defence. And what's he done with Hocking? I think Hocking's playing... Can't find him for the minute, but he's around the place somewhere. Oh, there he is. He's in ruck.
Roving, look like.
Oh, ruck roving, is he? Yes, he is, because Bartlett's doing the ruck work. Actually, Tony Simon said that he played Hocking on a wing a couple of weeks ago, didn't he? So he's obviously versatile, or at least Tony thinks he's versatile. So can the Bays get back into this? There is still time. Rouvray besieged. It's 12-9 to 10-9, so just 2 straight kicks in it. Almost into time on, as Michael leaves us and heads down, hopefully, for an interview after the match. Jimmy Wine tackled by Bartlett. It's been an absorbing duel since the quarter time. Now we're into time on, so Glenelg really need to get a move on here. Another goal would make it extremely interesting, and John Simons with a chance, overruns it, or Schwert caught one a bit high. Here's Hocking, inside 50, nice gather by Bailey. Can they manufacture something out of this? Mansell to Simons, needs to give it off, does so. A chance for Glenelg, it's still up on their right half forward line, but the umpire's going to hold things up and blow the whistle. That was a big opportunity for them, but they just couldn't get through the stockade. Casserly, one of the last to get up. Checking the score, it's 12-9 to 10-9, still 2 goals in it. Time really ticking away now. Ingerson, John Simons, Hallahan, Bailey needs to get rid of it quickly. The reflex was okay. Back goes Pyman, running the wrong way. No tackles coming though. And Pyman very close to the boundary line. They desperately need it to go over, don't they? There's Pyman, almost like a rugby try. 26 minutes gone. Hasn't been a lot of goals scored in this quarter, that's for sure. 3, I think. I'll just check that, so surely not a lot of time. Here's Hallahan running onto the footy. Picks up and delivers well. Outstorms Ingerson, that could be a match winner. So Anthony Ingerson, who is desperately trying to get back with the Crows, has taken a very timely mark and then swings play out wide. You can bet your life they'll hang around with this. Just 4 goals kicked in this term. Wine short pass to Pyman. Frustration here for Glenelg. They know time is running out and they just can't get a touch to the footy at the moment. They still won't because Lewis has stormed away from half forward. He's got the footy on that eastern side of the Elizabeth Oval. Up goes Rouvray, number 45. A big pack develops and time, valuable time now, is being lost as far as Glenelg is concerned. 27.5 minutes. Gee, the coach of the Bulldogs, he'd be pretty pleased if they can get out of this one. It would be 4 on end. Cook sends play now toward the flank on the far side. Cotton down there and also War. And once again it goes out of bounds. 3 and 3 Central. They played 3 and 1-3. Pretty good crowd. Lots of children here today. A lot of Central District supporters, and they will lift the roof off here if the siren goes soon and they're still in front. And one would imagine that is going to be the scenario. And no rain, thankfully. We drove up, Michael and I, up the freeway, and we thought, well, it's certainly going to be a shower or two because it was raining in Adelaide, but it's been pretty kind. There it is. And there is a very happy crowd here at Elizabeth because the Bulldogs have won their 4th match so far in 1995. They're 4-zip, 12-9 to 10-9.